Going live.
We are live.
Hello,
Podfeet.
everybody.
How are you this
I'm
fine
doing
day?
fine. So, Steve is on his studio display right now.
Woohoo!
On his Mac Studio. Now, while the studio display is nice, that camera...
This camera is the LG, or the 920.
Oh, you're on the C920. I was going to say, no, that doesn't look bad. Okay, you're on the C920 right now. Let me switch over
to the Mac Studio camera.
Oh, hang on. Alan's right. He said we haven't done roll call yet.
Oh,
Alan, give us a roll call.
Thank you, Alan. We do
Our
need
apologies.
your GIF.
All right.
Yes, please do roll call. Good timing.
Do it. I have just 5 o'clock now. Did we go live early? All right, well, I'm going to start roll call because he officially called it. We've got, there it is. All right, we've got Alan and Kevin and Frank and Jill and John and Mike and Sandy and Steve and Michael Westbay. And in the sidebar, who have we got in here? We got Rose and Mike Price again. And I saw Dave in here. Did he leave? He was here. Now I don't see him.
A Dave, and that looks like Dave's. Yeah, I think that's Dave's avatar. Yeah.
Oh, there he is. There he is. Yes. All right.
Hello, Dave.
Well, I think we've got roll call taken care of. Okay, so now let's do a comparison here. So Steve's on the C920, the Logitech C920. Now go to the Studio Displays camera.
There she is. It's kind of weird. It washes things out. Now I do have webcam settings running, so I can adjust this a little bit. But those, I don't know.
That's about as good as it gets.
Yeah, it's.
You sure you haven't messed it up with that?
How it
looked out of the can.
I could work on it to see if it got better.
Well, let's leave it right there, and now switch to the 5-year-old LG 5K display.
Okay.
Let's take a look at
That'll
that.
Be a different view, but let's see how that looks.
Yeah, so slightly different lighting, but he's going to come in on a different camera. Now
so
look at
the
that
LG.
Camera. Look at the camera there. Yeah, that. Why do you do that? All right,
so that actually is. I think
good.
Of all three of the cameras, that one looks the best to me, at least in terms of realness, if you will, and crispness,
realistic color and clarity.
But it's at a bad angle for me, so I'm going to switch back to the C920.
Okay. All right, Alistair's here. He says he prefers the LG as well. Yeah, that's pretty bad. So let's hope they really do come out with a firmware update to that.
Yeah, well, hopefully it isn't the sensor, but it can be fixed with firmware. There's so much processing done with the Apple cameras, embedded cameras. You'd think they could make that a better video, but we'll see.
Yeah, exactly. So for anybody who wasn't here right when we started talking in the pre-show, there's a real good chance you're not going to get this episode tonight because something seems to be broken at Libsyn. I've sent my file up for Chit Chat Across the Pond from this that Bart and I recorded yesterday. I've sent it up through 2 different methods to Libsyn, and it's never arriving where it needs to arrive, and I have no control over that, and Libsyn doesn't answer the any support calls on weekends. So I'll try to post the NosillaCast, but there's a good chance you won't get it. And Steve is playing audio back to me of my own voice. That's
not
good.
Anymore. That was 2 seconds.
Good help.
Thank you.
See, it's great having a producer, Dave.
It's free.
All right. Well, I think I should record this episode that no one is going to hear.
I agree.
Does that sound good? All right. Muting Steve. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Apple bias. Today is Sunday, April 17th, 2022, and this is show number 834. Well, I don't know whether you're going to have gotten this show on time or not. I'm having quite a little difficulty with Libsyn, which is where I store the audio files. I can't post Chit Chat Across the Pond right now because it's never arriving at the right location when I FTP it up to Libsyn. So there's a good chance you're not hearing this on Sunday night or Monday morning. I don't know when you're going to get this. Hopefully, maybe a miracle occurs in sometime between when I started recording this and when I finished, it will actually start working. All right.
So Jill pointed out, and she's correct, it's actually show 884. I wouldn't go back and re-record.
No, I'm definitely going to. You know, I saw something said 884, and I was like, is it really?
Yeah, it is. I had
Okay,
it in there in the YouTube video and checked it just to make sure, but it is 884.
No, I'm definitely gonna re-record
All
that
right.
because that matters to me. But I saw something said 883, and I was like, well, that's not right. It's 833. Okay.
You're a little farther along than you anticipated.
Yeah, well, I knew that. I was almost 900. So, okay, so I've fixed it over in the feed that'll never go up. So we've got it there. Let me see. Today is Sunday. Okay, I'm gonna mute that track and do the beginning, and I want to keep that spontaneous angst that I just did. Thank you very much, Jill. Appreciate that. That's why the live show is here. Okay, arm this track. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Apple bias. Today is Sunday, April 17th, 2022, and this is show number 884. Okay, and now I need to
That
change
sounded good.
third place. Thank you. All right. Let's see. So one of the things I know Dave is interested in, might be why he's here, is he's really interested in getting better video for his show. So it'll be real interesting. I think it's fun that we have the comparison of 3 cameras for him on this too. See how it looks in the.
But I thought Dave used Mimo in the past.
No, he used to, but he's been working with StreamYard, and he tested out. What was it called? Melon.
Mm-hmm.
I know that. So he's been trying a couple of things. All right. He may not be really here, but he waved it once. All right. Let me listen to the connection between those two. Whoop. Doesn't work when you don't unmute that track. You gotta darn that track. Number 884. Well, I don't know. Okay. That's good. That worked. Okay. So now, chapter mark. That's where I was going. No, gotta have this open first. Copy link. And there we go. So if Dave is listening, I manually put in my chapter marks as I go, but Grumpy in the chat room wrote a Keyboard Maestro macro for me, and I've put it on my Stream Deck as a button that pastes them in when I copy them out of another document. So that's what I was doing right there. All right. Muting Steve. Well, I was positively thrilled last week to be the subject of David Sparks and Stephen Hackett's interrogation on the Mac Power users. I've known David for 100 years or so, but I'd never really gotten to know Stephen until this week when I got to be on Mac Power Users. They asked me about everything in my tech background, so we start at the 512K Mac and we move forward from there. We talk a bit about the early days of podcasting, my latest Mac gear, why I can't figure out what to do with the iPad mini, my current obsession with making diagrams using diagrams.net, the place in my life for the Apple Pencil, the fun I'm having with coding, how Rogue Amoeba tools are critical to my workflow, why learning about assistive tech is so fun, how Ulysses paired with Mars Edit is how I write for Podfeet, why I'm bullish on Folga to create tutorials, and why I like Telegram for messaging. I had a great time with David and Stephen. I hope you'll go have a listen to Mac Power Users number 635 in your podcatcher of choice, or of course, there's a link in the show notes. All right. We have 2 chit-chats across the pond. Well, maybe not. Maybe
Alistair
we only have one.
Alistair and Jill really liked that Mac Power Users episode.
Oh, good. You even said you liked it.
Even me. Yep. I mean,
I'm always
that's a
amazed
tough sell.
Well, I don't understand how Steve can stand to listen to me. He has to on shows because he has to listen to me all day long. So I'm always a little surprised that he likes it. All right. Actually, I only need to do that there. That's what I just figured out. Okay. All right. Well, this week, in theory, we have 2 chit-chats across the pond. That is, if I can get the second one posted. But the first one is a really super fun one. While Steve and I were in Phoenix visiting Steve's sister, we made a trip out to meet the awesome Bodie Grimm, host of the Kilowatt podcast at 918digital.com. Bodie's show is all about electric vehicles, self-driving, renewable energy, and batteries. You can imagine it would be impossible for a podcast to not break out when two podcasters meet up like this. We decided to create this as a crossover episode that we would both post. Now, I haven't listened to Bodie's intro yet, but I'm willing to bet he starts with telling his audience they should not listen on his show. They should subscribe to mine instead. That's just the kind of guy he is. I'm not that generous. Stay here, listen to my channel, and then when you're done, you're allowed to go subscribe to the Kilowatt podcast. Anyway, we talk about all kinds of things in this episode. I explain how weird it was for Steve and me to drive an internal combustion engine ICE car after 2 years of EV driving. But that wasn't the weirdest thing we did. Right before recording, Bodie let us order a Waymo self-driving car to take us to Trader Joe's. So of course we had to talk about how crazy it was to be in a moving car with no driver in the car. Steve and I are considering getting batteries to go with our solar system, and Bodie knows a lot about this subject, so I tried to get him to interpret the crazy language we were given on how to deal with Tesla batteries during a power outage. He does not succeed at interpreting this any better than we did. I do have to say, we're pretty sure that the instructions we've been given are wrong, so don't panic about Tesla batteries when you hear what we talk about. Bodie is a positively fabulous guy. He's smart, he's knowledgeable, and he's got this subtle and yet completely goofy sense of humor that just tickles me to death. Be sure to check out the Kilowatt podcast in your podcatcher of choice after listening to Chit Chat Across the Pond number 723.
Very good.
A little more than I meant to, but all right. Well, we'll see whether the second one ever happens.
Oh, because that one's not published yet?
Yeah, that's the one I can't. All right. I need this one first. So I could do this over here. Chapter mark to the second one. Okay, and now this one. I finally have a good way of switching between the main screen, the main podcast list. I'll get it yet. The blog post for the podcast and all of the separate blog posts. I just finally figured out a better way to do it. All right. Drink some water. Number 723, the final episode of the NosillaCast. Actually, no, Jill, you should listen to us talk about the Waymo self-driving car. It was amazing. It was nothing like the Teslas. I've said before, the Teslas are like a drunk driving a new driver who is also drunk, and it wasn't at all. It was fantastic. It was really good. Anyway, all right. If I am successful in posting the second Chit Chat Across the Pond, which is going to be a Programming by Stealth with Bart Busschots, we have one more thing to learn as we gear up to actually starting writing modern code for Bart's HSXK PassWD tool. The last piece of our toolkit is a bundler. In this installment, Bart teaches us what problems bundlers solve, and he explains why he chose the bundler Webpack for this project. After learning about Webpack, Bart takes us through a worked example bundling the joiner module we've been working on through this part of the series. When we're done, we'll have an ES6 bundle and a universal module definition, UMD, bundle to cover both modern and more legacy needs. In this episode, you'll hear me say that in the exercise it hit errors, but I want you to know that after the show, we diagnosed the problem in the show notes, and Bart was able to fix them, so have no worries about that part when I'm kind of concerned saying, hey, it doesn't work, Bart. It will work for you. You can, as always, find Bart's fabulous show notes tutorial for this installment at pbs.bartificer.net, and you can find Programming by Stealth in your podcatcher of choice. Okay.
So Alistair wants to know, where are the self-riding bicycles?
I think you might need an extra
for a
wheel
single
on that
seat
one.
bike, I'm not sure that makes sense.
Yeah.
Maybe you could put something on the bike and have it carried by itself.
Well, I think it just has to have extra tires, right?
Extra tires, all right.
I think the problem is two. You could have a tricycle that was self-driving, couldn't you?
No, I'm just thinking if it's a single seat, that means you're not on it. And Where do you? How do you get? How do you go to point A from point
No,
A
you
to point B?
you just don't have a steering wheel. You just don't have handlebars.
Self-driving, but still not driverless, like the Waymo.
No, you'd be driverless because you're not driving.
All right.
Okay, you're just being
okay.
a pest. All right, it is time for shower power. All right, here we go. Oh, and I gotta go this one first. Okay, here we go. Press a button. Shower power. There we go. Okay, now you, and back to you. There we go. Oh, I'm so excited. I finally got that working better. All right, here we go. I am not a big fan of crowdfunded projects, but once in a while, I still fall for the idea. At CES in January of 2019, we met with a company called Ampere, who were working on a 3-way wireless charger for iPhone, Apple Watch, and AirPods. It was crowdfunded, but by the time we met with Ampere, they were already shipping the charger to backers, so I decided to back the device. In just 2 months, I got the hardware, and I did a review for the NosillaCast back then in 2019. Fast forward to October of 2020 when I attended a virtual PepCon event after in-person CES was canceled. Ampere was at virtual PepCon, so I thought I'd stop by to see what they were excited about next. Ampere was showing off a device they call Shower Power, a hydro-powered Bluetooth speaker. They explained that the flow of your shower water would actually charge the battery that powers the speaker, so you'd never need to plug it in to charge it, and you'd have a speaker in the shower. It looked pretty nifty, and as I said in my blog post from 23 October 2020, I was sorely tempted to back the Kickstarter that was starting in just 5 days' time. My logic in doing it was that A, I had backed this company once before and gotten the product in just 2 months, and B, they said they'd be delivering by Christmas, again, just 2 months away. I convinced myself that backing Ampere in a crowdfunded campaign was just as good as buying from a real store. But as Christmas approached, I had no shower power to give to Steve for Christmas. Instead, I gave him a wrapped box that only contained a poorly printed photo of shower power along with the email showing I'd backed the project on day 1. Over the past year and a half, I've gotten regular emails from Ampere telling me about their progress. I learned about design changes, materials changes, challenges in the mechanics, and more. While the last couple of years have been a strain for all companies everywhere, I think this is what being part of a good crowdfunded project is actually all about. You feel like you're part of a community as you cheer them on for the sidelines, the entire time grumbling under your breath that you really do just want the darn product. Now, I'm going to try to convince myself to remember this experience the next time I get tempted by a crowdfunded project, but I make no guarantees I won't fall for it again. With all this preamble, guess what? We got our shower power on March 15th, just 18 months after I placed the order. Now that you've learned the lesson about crowdfunding, let's have some fun talking about shower power. The good news is that we really like it. Let's first talk about the design and installation. Shower power is a cylinder that goes between your shower head and the end of the pipe to which the shower head normally connects. You simply turn the shower head counterclockwise to unscrew it from the pipe. Maybe you all knew it was that easy to take a shower head off, but I actually did not know that. I always figured it required some sort of mysterious plumber's sorcery. Once the shower head is removed, you screw the shower power cylinder onto the pipe, and then you screw the shower head into the shower power. Depending on your shower head, you might need an adapter, but they include them in the packaging. In a brilliant move, Ampere put a sticker on one end of the cylinder that says input to make sure you put it on in the right direction. The shower power has an impeller on the inside, which is like a propeller, but it's fully encased like what you would have on a jet ski. There's no blades going around that's going to, tear you up if you're in underwater near a jet ski. The water pressure turns the impeller, which generates energy to charge the battery. So far, we only have the energy generating portion of the shower power attached. The speaker itself is called a droplet. Get it? Water droplet? I thought it was cute. The droplet connects perpendicular to shower power, forming a T intersection. It connects using what's called a bayonet mount. You may not know that term, but I'm sure you've seen one before. If you've ever connected a camera lens to a big girl camera, that's a bayonet mount. You just push in and turn a few degrees, and it locks into place. The droplet speaker is around 3 inches in diameter and 4 inches long. And in addition to being charged by shower power, its 1800 milliamp hour battery can also be charged via USB-C. It's completely waterproof, duh. It supports Bluetooth 5.1 and has a max sound level of 85 dBc. When you look at the mount for the droplet, you may not believe it's waterproof, even though it obviously must be. You can see metal connectors that are part of the press fit of droplet into shower power, but don't be afraid to get it wet. When you turn shower power on, after a few seconds, you'll hear a classic water droplet sound that tells you your droplet now has power. On the end of droplet, it has buttons for power, play, pause, up and down volume, and one that I think means shuffle your music. But since I don't do music, I don't know what that button actually does for sure. Steve and I primarily listen to podcasts, and we've definitely wanted to be able to listen to them in the shower. Shower Power's droplet delivers pretty good audio considering it's in the shower. We do find that deep voices in spoken podcasts are a bit muddled for our tastes, but I didn't expect super high fidelity. I'll get back to the sound quality in a moment. While I was waiting for a year and a half for the shower power to be delivered, they made an offer to backers to send an additional droplet along. I forget how much I paid for it. It might have been as much as $40, or they might have given it to me. I honestly don't remember. Having a second droplet has turned out to make the shower power much more useful than it would have been otherwise. You see, it's been a very long time since we've used traditional Bluetooth speakers, and we forgot how incredibly annoying it is to connect more than one phone to the same device. For the first few days, Steve and I were sharing the one droplet connected to the shower head, and it was a giant Bluetooth mess. If one of us forgot to disconnect after leaving the shower, the second phone simply could not connect. It reminded me of the old days when Steve and I had Bluetooth connectivity in our Acura cars. It was so frustrating. Decided each of us would be wireless in our own cars, but wired in the opposite person's car. So if I got in Steve's car, I would plug in by a wire. When he got into my car, he would plug in with a wire. That way we were never sharing it within one Bluetooth setting. I'm not sure why Bluetooth connectivity in our Teslas does not cause this aggravation at all, but with a touch of a button, our phones connect easily to either car. Now, I said it was lucky I got the extra droplet speaker because our solution to the Bluetooth mess was because one became mine and one became Steve's. At first, we envisioned that we would physically disconnect the droplets when we got out of the shower and swap them. But then we came up with a much easier idea. Steve gets to use the droplet that's connected to the shower since it was his Christmas present from 2 years ago, but I never connect mine to the shower. Instead, I simply used normal USB-C charging rather than that nifty hydroelectric power that is the point of the whole thing. According to the specifications at Ampere, Steve's droplet will get endless sound as long as the water's running. On battery power alone, my droplet is supposed to get 16 hours of sound playback on a charge. I charged it fully when I first got it. I've used it over the last, it's been 3 or 4 weeks since we got it, and I haven't had to recharge it yet. I haven't done any scientific testing of the playback time, but so far I'm quite pleased with how long the battery lasts. The one thing Droplet is missing is a charge level indicator. But since the primary usage for Droplet is to be attached to hydroelectric power, I understand why that was never added. Now, when I first put my droplet in the shower, I put it on a little shelf, and it was really hard to understand my podcast, that muddled audio I was talking about. I started moving it around, and I discovered that if I put it on the shower caddy right in front of me, the sound was a lot better. I didn't experience those muddled lower tones that I had experienced before. Steve has taken to removing the shower power from the shower head and placing it on the shower caddy as well for better sound. We suspect it has to do with how ours is oriented when installed. It's pointed into a corner. We tried rotating the whole thing around, as shown in the photos, which would probably help, but we found it leaked in that location. Now, they do provide some washer shims to fix this problem, but we've gotten lazy since we had a workaround, so we haven't actually fixed that yet. Now, you're going to laugh at this next benefit I discovered. It is incredibly useful to be able to carry a speaker around anywhere you like. I know I'm acting like I made fire here, but I've been using the tethered HomePod speakers for so long, I forgot what a delight it is to be able to just move a speaker from room to room. So not only do I have my podcast playing in the shower, but when I walk into the bedroom, I can carry the podcast with me. I mean, Captain Obvious here, but it delights me, and I'm going to enjoy it. If I had to ask for one more thing on the droplet, it would be a better way to know whether the device is on or off. If you press the power button, it turns blue, and it makes the droplet sound. But then the blue light doesn't stay on as an indicator that it's powered up. It makes a droplet-like sound when you turn it off, but I can't tell if it's different than the on-droplet type sound. Again, I suspect this was not a high priority for this device, since the purpose of the droplet was to be in the shower, powered by the flow of water, which does make the sound and tell you it's turned on, but it still would be useful when you're walking around with it. The bottom line is that I'm going to try really hard not to back another crowdfunded project, but in the end, we're happy that we backed the shower power by Ampere. It's a cool device that uses energy that's being wasted. We can take our droplets with us when we travel, and we finally have our podcasts in the shower. You can buy shower power for $99 US and the droplet for $49 US from ampere.shop. I don't know if that was an endorsement in the end, was it, Steve?
I don't.
Since you started taking yours off too.
Yeah, I think that you pointed out the pros and cons, so I wouldn't call that a full endorsement. I mean, plus you bought it.
We should try rotating.
You didn't receive it as a trial product.
No, but I'm saying the fact that neither one of us are using the hydroelectric power to charge it right now.
Oh, I
Actually,
see.
no, technically, I charge it for you, don't I?
Right. That's why I plug mine back in, so you charge it for me.
Oh my gosh! Should I add that at the end?
You could.
I think I will. That'll be funny. Here we go. As soon as I stopped recording that piece I just talked to you about, I realized maybe this didn't sound like an endorsement for shower power because we aren't actually using the hydroelectric power. However, Steve reminded me that when he takes his shower power off of the shower and he puts it in the little caddy to listen to his podcast, when he's done, he puts it onto the shower and then or he reconnects it to the shower power so that when I'm taking a shower, it is charging his shower power. So in an odd way, we are using hydroelectric power to power the shower power. There's a lot of powers.
Good clarification.
That'll be funny. All right. Back to this. I think we have a CSUN.
Did you do?
I'm about to.
All right.
There we go.
Good.
Okay. All right. Let's have a listen to another CSUN Assistive Tech Conference interview. This might end up being long. Would it be cheating if I saved some more Do you mind if I keep moving these CSUNs out? Okay. They might. Yeah, I got a 45-minute security bits. We'll see. I've got a tiny tip. The tiny tip's not going to take too long, but let's listen to this. Assistive Tech Conference interview. I'm talking to Robert Jaquist of American Thermoform, and I'm looking at a piece of paper with a butterfly on it, and Robert's going to explain to us what I'm looking at and what I'm feeling.
Okay, this paper is called Swell Touch paper. It is technically microcapsule paper. It's coated with a special coating, and when printed on with black carbon-based ink, you can then put it through a machine like this, and it will raise the image.
So for the people who can't see the video, we're looking at something looks like kind of like a big black tall printer, but it's got fans on the top.
Right. Some people used to call these things a Susie bake oven. so the page would go through and from the front and come out on the back side.
And what's going on the inside?
It's exposed to infrared light.
So the paper gets printed on with just a normal printer to start?
Normal laser printer.
Okay, so normal laser printer prints black on it, and then it goes through the infrared here, and then what happens?
The image raises. So you have a flat image coming in the front, you have a raised image coming out behind. Whoops. Anyway,
it was an interesting product. It costs a fortune, but for people who need to print stuff that you need to be able to feel, it was a pretty interesting idea. Yeah, he's got a game show voice, Alan. Coating. That was good. All right, I'm going to do a support the show here.
You're going to bookmark that one?
There's a good
Chapter
chance.
market.
Let's see. See what happens here. this one's going to be a PayPal ad. All right. One of my favorite ways for people to support the work we do here at the Podfeet Podcast Empire is through PayPal. If you go to podfeet.com/PayPal, you can push the button and send any size donation you like. The reason I like PayPal so much is that there are people who make regular donations on a schedule of their own choosing, and it reminds me that they're still out there listening. This week I got a donation from John Murray. He's donated before, and he always sends a lovely little note along with his donation telling me that he enjoys the show. The money helps pay the bills, and the warm... Shoot, wrecked my joke. The money helps... The money helps pay the bills, and the note warms my heart. If you feel you get value out of the work we do here, please consider going to PayPal and making a donation like John. Thank you, John, for all your support. All right, a little tiny tip music. Got some music. No donate? Why don't you want people to donate?
Dumb question becomes, how did you decide to go dumb question versus tiny tip?
Maybe I should
blend them. Play them on top of each other.
I could play one after another.
Well, okay, dumb question becomes
Let me see how it's going to read. This was way long time ago. Yeah, I published this in March 3rd, 25th.
It sounds like it starts with a dumb question.
But yeah. I do call it out, so that this could work. All right. So I'm going to put... I like it. This is going to be great. This will really confuse people.
Who follow the podcast.
Well, yeah, people who don't listen to the podcast won't be confused at all.
Well, a newcomer might not appreciate the joke. But we're not doing this for newcomers.
What do you want me to do with that? No, I'm going to explain it in the thing too, anyway. Okay. All right, here we go.
Dumb.
Dumb.
Dumb question.
How come I always have to?
It's time for Dumb Question Corner.
Well, you might have been confused by those two pieces of intro music. That was the Dumb Question Corner theme and the Tiny Tip theme, and there's a reason for that. In our awesome Slack community at podfeet.com/Slack, John Endall asked what he dubbed a dumb question. I thought I had a clever answer to his question, but Kaylin B came up with an answer that is a fabulous tiny tip. First, the problem to be solved. Here's the question that John posted. This might be a dumb question, trademark NosillaCast, but does anyone know of a way to easily show the entire path of a file when using Spotlight? I know I can hold down the Command key and the path appears at the bottom of the screen, but it's truncated due to my overly deep folder structure. The Spotlight window cannot be resized, so the picture he shows is all you can see. He attached a screenshot with personal information blurred. The actual path for this file is /volume/sabret/gendal/library/mobile documents/com Apple Cloud Docs/LCB. It goes on and on and on from there. Anyway, he found it by opening the file from Spotlight in Affinity Photo and then doing a save as. That's a poor workaround, though. Thanks for any suggestions. Kaylin B jumped in right away to try to answer and explained that he didn't know if it was possible in Spotlight, but he suggested doing the search from within the Finder instead. In order to achieve the goal, in Finder, go to the View menu and select Show Path Bar. From now on, all Finder windows will show you the full path down at the bottom of the window of your selected file. To clarify, Callum is talking about using the little search magnifying glass in all Finder windows, which is actually a Spotlight search, but perhaps a more direct way of searching the file system. At this point, we were partway to a good solution. But in studying John's problem description, it occurred to me that if he had a long enough depth to his file structure, he might not even be able to see the full path on a super wide Finder window. A more efficient solution would be if he could have a text representation of the path rather than graphical. My solution was to use the terminal for the path, and I invoked another tiny tip to make John's life easier. I wrote, let's say you want to do this often, and a screenshot of a long path might not be very useful. Remember a while back, Frank Voss gave us a tiny tip about how to put an icon in your Finder windows to go straight to the terminal in that enclosing folder. I use it all the time, and it comes in handy here. If you follow Caleb's advice and use the Show in Enclosing folder action and then click the icon Frank suggested, you can then type simply PWB for Print Working Directory in Terminal, and you'll get the path right there in text. If you only need this once in a blue moon, the Finder icon might not be something you'd want there all the time, but it should say the terminal icon. Hang on, that's important. Terminal icon. Sorry. Terminal. Okay, I gotta remember to post that. If you only need this once in a blue moon, that terminal icon Frank gave us might not be something you want there all the time, but if it's a frequent requirement, it is awesome. I included a screenshot of a file buried 7 levels deep in the Finder, which illustrates how long the path name gets, and then the output of the terminal command pwb, which is much shorter and probably more useful. I was pretty smug about my solution, but then Caleb came back with a far better solution than invoking the terminal. He wrote, you don't even need to do that these days. You can right-click any element in the path bar at the bottom of a Finder window and select Copy as Path Name. If you right-click a folder, you also get the option to Open in Terminal, which I didn't know either. You can even just select the file in the results list, then copy it with Command-C. When you try to paste it somewhere, it will just paste the path name if it's not appropriate to paste the actual file. This is so cool. I had no idea this option was available. To reiterate, Caleb is saying to right-click on the file name in the path bar, not the file name where you see it in the main part of the Finder window. I love my little open terminal icon in my Finder toolbars that Frank Voss gave us, but it's also pretty cool that you can right-click on any folder in the path bar and do the same thing. That will be super useful for when I'm on someone else's computer and I need to jump into the terminal. So thank you to John for the dumb question, and thank you to Caleb for a super cool tiny tip to solve the problem. Now, one thing to note is we never answered John's question of how to get the full path from Spotlight, but we were so excited that we had solutions that didn't solve his exact problem that we just kept going and we declared victory at that point. The real lesson here is if you're reading or listening to this and you haven't joined our Slack community, come see what you're missing. Come join us at podfeet.com/Slack.
And there you go.
All right.
How are you doing on time here?
Well,
25
minutes. And it's so tempting to save one, but let's see how long this is. If it's really long, it's 4 minutes. I think I should do it.
That's a shorty, yeah. Plus you already wrote her, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. All right, fine.
Fine. Plain milk is fine.
It's just I love having those as my backup for when, like next week, I've got a video for Don due. But I've got 2 more left. Oh, and Mike is going to do us a solid and give us his tiny tip, his dumb question. His is a dumb question tiny tip, isn't it?
Did Mike agree to that?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't catch that he responded.
Can you donate for me because I don't donate? Alan. It's a great idea. Everybody get Kevin to donate for you if you just don't want to do it yourself. All right, let me do a little intro here. All right, let's switch gears and listen to another CSUN Assistive Tech Conference interview. This is cool. Interview there. See how that sounds. Tech conference interview. I've always wanted to learn Braille, and when I was a little girl, I used a piece of cardboard and a punch to teach it to myself. I've forgotten what I learned from back then, but I'm at the OFA booth with Jane Jung, and she's got a tool in front of me here to help teach children, or early Braille learners, we should just call them, learn to read and write in Braille. Is that correct?
Yeah, Tapsillo is created to make Braille learning fun and easy for the Braille starters who still have issues when they started learning Braille. So it has 9 Braille cells with Braille display, and it has 9 Braille blocks. So
Okay, I'm going to stop us there because I still have to go fight with, 29:48. That's perfect. I like about a half hour before we do chit chat. Okay, so I do music before chit chat. Security bits, yeah. There it is. All right, and
So
let's do,
I don't see, maybe because you haven't published it yet,
what
I don't
the chit
see
chat.
security bits in the blog post. At least the one
I
on
published it. Oh, it's not in here. Oh, you're right.
in the blog post. No,
You're
no.
right. Sorry. Yeah, and that actually is functioning. Okay, let me go get it. You're right. I could do that. Actually, yeah, if that's not there, I need it here. Actually, blog posts. I swear I did that. Well, that's right. Shoot. I'm torn between two browsers. Isn't there a song that sounds like "Torn Between Two Lovers"? Let's see.
Yep.
Safari keeps not working for me.
Yeah, Safari's a
And-
little bit screwed up these days.
Yeah. I don't know if we've got a full control group, but so far everybody says it's messed up is using an M1. Anybody? Oh, actually, that's a question. Anybody have trouble with Safari lately? Like it just, John F. Brown calls it getting wedged. It just gets wedged. It
A
stops
wedgie.
working.
Mhm.
It just like decides not to render websites sometimes. Just doesn't feel like it.
I have trouble with the NASA James Webb Space Telescope site on Safari.
Just that one?
Well, other things, but that one consistently hangs for me, or is delayed.
I'm having trouble with Core Audio. Yeah, there's the song. Thank you, Alan. I'm having trouble with Core Audio. I couldn't play audio out of 2 different web browsers today, so that was neat. I had to reboot.
That's always fun. Good thing you weren't in the middle of a screencast.
Actually, Bart laughed. He said, "Go ahead and reboot. I'll see you in 10 seconds."
Yeah, it is pretty amazing. Jill, are you on an M1?
You had the audio problem too.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, and you're on an M1.
So the correlation is continuing.
Holdings so far. Any other web browser problems? Like it just, like I said, getting its panties in a bunch. Oh, you had the same audio problem. Like you couldn't play audio from the web browser. That's interesting. No loading pictures. Yeah. Well, it's that time of the week. Shots, how you doing today, Bart?
I am doing good, but I much prefer that to cycling in the rain.
Yeah, what? Let me move you over a smidge, Bart. That one's line you up about like that. Let's see what this is, Steve.
Yeah, there was no wind, so my umbrella was actually...
Okay, those two look good. Let's see. This is when your monitor's too wide. This is why people like curved monitors. Well, it's like 7 feet away over here, so I have to when I'm trying to line things up.
I think you're dropping hints for a curved monitor.
No.
After
Okay, where's the security? Alan would like some security bits music.
Well, let's give it to him.
Just for you, Alan. Well, it's that time of the week again. It's time for security bits. Is that too late, Steve?
No, that works.
That was good? Okay. Yeah, Alan, if you're broke, you are under no obligation to feel bad in any way, shape, or form about not contributing financially. You contribute a lot in here and in Slack, and that's good. It's awesome. But I just think it's really creative that you asked Kevin to do it for you.
That's a unique method for solving your problem.
What would a 6K curve monitor cost? Withstand. Here. This was fun.
Excellent. Well, I've run out of stuff, and my tummy tells me it's about dinner time. So I think what we should do is remind everyone they should stay patched so they stay secure, and talk to you soon.
Oh, he threw in something new there.
Wild man.
All right. Here we go. Let me close it out here. Well, that's going to wind things up for this week. I hope you're hearing this show. It's kind of disconcerting not knowing whether I'm going to be able to get this out. But if you did hear this show, did you know that you can email me at allison@podfeed.com anytime you like, and I will actually probably answer. If you have a question or a suggestion or a dumb question, even better, or possibly a review, just send it on over. You can follow me on Twitter @podfeed. If you want to join in the fun of the conversation, you can absolutely join our Slack community, like we were talking about John earlier at podfeed.com/Slack. And there you can talk to me and all of the other lovely Nosilla castaways who are often quite smarter than me. So we have great conversations over there, and you can get help too. Remember, everything good starts with podfeed.com. You can support the show at podfeed.com/Patreon or with a one-time donation at podfeed.com/PayPal, like Robert did this week. And if you want to join in the fun of the live show like Dave Hamilton did this week, head on over to podfeed.com/live on Sunday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific time and join the friendly and enthusiastic Nosilla castaways. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed. Okay, I said his name was Robert. Do you think his name was Robert?
Oh, I thought you said John.
Yep, but no. John was had the dumb question, right?
But when did you think?
But I think you were both named John. If you have a question or a suggestion if you want to join in the fun of the conversation, you can absolutely join our Slack. And there you can talk to me and all of the other lovely Nosilla castaways. Remember, everything good starts with podfeed.com. Yeah. You can support the show at podfeed.com/Patreon or with a one-time donation at podfeed.com/PayPal, like Robert did this week. Oh. Yep, I said Robert, and his name was John. Remember, I'm just going to do that again. John and John. John and Adele. And it was John Murray. All right. Let's take two. Well, that's going to wind us up for this week. I sure hope you were able to hear the show today. I guess if you're listening to this, you did. Anyway, I hope I get this working. Did you know you can email me at allison@podfeed.com anytime you like? If you've got a question, a suggestion, a dumb question, or maybe a review, even better, just send it on over to that address. You can also follow me on Twitter @podfeed. If you want to join the fun in the conversation, like John Endall did this week, asking his dumb question, you could join our Slack community at podfeed.com/Slack, where you can talk to me and all of the other lovely Nosilla castaways. Remember, everything good starts with podfeed.com. You can support the show at podfeed.com/Patreon or with a one-time donation at podfeed.com/PayPal, like John Murray did this week. If you want to join in the fun of the live show like Dave Hamilton did this week, head on over to podfeed.com/live on Sunday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific time and join the friendly and enthusiastic Nosilla castaways. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed.
Did we ever confirm Dave joined us? His name was...
Yeah, he waved.
Oh, he did?
He waved.
I missed it. Shoot. I would have said that.
It was before I started recording, so he may not have actually stayed for the show.
Yeah, he is asleep now, so I don't think he's with us.
Yeah, but that's okay.
Hey, I just realized what you're wearing and what I'm wearing kind of are related. Apollo 11, is that when we went to the special event?
Yeah, what is that? 50th anniversary? Golden?
Yeah.
And then what's yours?
Relax. It's just It's just rocket science.
I think Dorothy gave you that shirt.
Yeah. And these are all the equations having to do with rocketry.
All of the equation? That's all of them?
Well, amazingly, one important one is missing, and that's for ISP, which is a
What's
significant
ISP?
measure of how, I think it's an efficiency rating of the engine, how long and strong an engine can burn. It's it's got a few things buried into it, but it's a pretty good measure for rocket engine efficiency and power.
Yeah.
I believe.
So, that's exciting.
Yeah, I can tell you really blew your
Sorry.
dress up there.
Well, I just got thinking about something. Can you guys check your podcatchers and see if you have a broken feed for programming for the regular Chit Chat, not Chit Chat Lite and not PBS, but Chat? Because I posted to that to it, and then I tried it, which is actually
Ooh, we're getting
tricky.
a pause here. I told Oliver I'd do a sampling of the process.
Oh, it's right around the same time too, isn't it?
Yeah, we're about 50 minutes in. Well, it hasn't paused like it did last time. I'll wait to see if we get a pause. We just had a couple stutters. Did I stutter?
So I'm gonna let's see. You don't see anything overcast, but you did get a notification. Good, and Bodegrim's the last one you see.
That's same with me.
Good. So I can see I sent Chit Chat up.
724.
It is possible that it just took a while. So I'm going to go ahead and up this file. I can still send it up. Whether you can get to it or not is going to be the question. And I can't even give just you guys, because you're the cool kids. I can't even just give you guys the link because it's the link that's not working. But I will try that right now.
Yeah, and Apple Podcasts also has 723 as the latest.
Okay, good. That's good. So that file is there. So I'm going to check Libsyn again and see whether it's where it should be now. So I can show you guys. Want to see the problem? You saw the notification of the PBS episode, then when I went to Overcast, it showed an error and then disappeared. Okay, that's exactly what I would hope it would do. Yep, no, it's still not there.
Well,
Do
Monday
you guys
may
want to
just
see
be
the problem?
Monday may just be a big day. So you can show these screens without any problem?
Well, I've got to do a little bit of work. I got to change. I'm gonna.
No, but there's nothing
privacy?
secure.
We'll find out, won't we?
But you've got some numbers in your URL there. Does that?
Oh, yeah, maybe I shouldn't. Yeah, there's other stuff. I don't know. Yeah, so it looks like it's still not there. Oh yeah, do a chapter mark count, Steve.
Okay.
We should have done that before I did what I just did. Oh, I've got a lot. 1,
I've
2,
got
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You should have 8.
I have 8 because I don't have
And
the
I have 9.
promo.
Yeah, no, the Bodhi episode is fine. It's the Programming by Stealth episode that I pushed this afternoon that is broken.
Yeah, so Bodhi episode's the last one, which is 723, that was successfully uploaded for Chit Chat. 724 is the first broken one. And no security bits either. I'm sorry, no...
What do you mean, no?
No podcast, no NosillaCast for tonight.
Well, not yet.
Not yet.
We don't know if it's going to fail. But I suspect it will because I'm doing the same thing I did earlier today.
Didn't you have a problem publishing a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, this is
a different
though.
problem.
It was failing, and it was the way I was uploading through Feeder. I had to change a bunch of stuff because of the changes to the server, and Bill Reveal helped me fix all those. But this is a case of where I use Feeder to FTP the file up, and Feeder's not getting any kind of an error at all. It's going, yep, got it, no problem.
Well, you said the Libsyn website changed, at least in appearance. I'm wondering if they made a functional change too that messed things up.
They changed it in January. Did I remove the episode from the feed? Yes, I did, Alistair. Yeah,
Wait.
there are show notes for it. And there's a link to a file that doesn't work. In fact, we could check that. That is one way to check.
You want me to show this or no?
I don't think you can see it. I mean, if you
I-
just go to
I can.
pbs.bartificer.net and go to episode 137, there is a link to the matching podcast episode. Oh, it looks like it's working. No.
724.
Yeah,
Nope.
no. Error not found. How are you seeing that?
I've got your screen
Oh.
displayed.
Oh, I forgot. I was thinking this was the way we were doing it in StreamYard. I couldn't just move something there. Yeah. So, yeah, this is broken. But if I go into Libsyn and I go... So here's the real problem. Let's see. If you go
Should I show this or not?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's okay. If I go to Libsyn upload file for download, you can working with file for download only. You see this interface? You see what this looks like right here? Let's see if I zoom in. See that? Dashboard, content, destination. See all that look and feel? See what it looks like? All those really cool controls? They're gone. They're not here. This doesn't look anything like that.
So how recently was that change?
I don't know. I never go in here unless something goes wrong. That's the only reason oh, maybe I shouldn't show that.
And you haven't been...
I
haven't
just
had a
don't
problem
go
in
here.
a while.
Right. I don't go to the dashboard because I don't need to go to the dashboard if it all works. I don't care what this stuff says. I mean, I could go look at stats and stuff, but all of the controls are gone. Like there's a list of episodes, but I can't upload a new episode. It's not there. There's the one from yesterday. But I did find, what did I find? Oh, I know. If you go to new episode, already uploaded your file, click here to select a file. And when I click here, there it is. They've got the file. But that file is 23.89 megabytes, and the real file is 70.9.
Well, maybe...
So the file's borked.
Maybe there was a hiccup on upload of the file and it didn't get the entire file?
Yes, that would make sense.
And can you remove
but
that?
I went through two different paths to do the upload. I did it once through Feeder, and when it failed, I said, all right, I'll do it through Auphonic Leveler. And you can see here, the last thing Auphonic does is it FTPs the file.
And that gave the same result.
And that's, so I've uploaded it twice through two totally different methods. Yeah, maybe a broken upload. Do a spreadsheet to capture the data, send it to them to show them the problem. Yeah, but I don't know. But I don't know what the problem
So
is.
isn't one of the fields in the metadata for an RSS feed the number of bytes in the file?
Yes.
And what if that were not consistent with the file length?
Well, you're right. So I think it's possible that it got broken the first time I tried to FTP it up, but I didn't get an error, and now I'm trying to do it again, and I'm getting an error. The other thing is in Feeder.
It could be getting confused since there's already a file up there and you're giving it the same file name, even though you've deleted
Maybe,
the
but
first
it
one.
should error on that. Normally it yells at me. Michael Westbay says, do you go there via bookmark or from the top page of their site? Like I said, I don't go there normally at all.
How do you get there?
I'm not sure. Well, I don't. I use Feeder, or I use Transmit, or I use Auphonic to FTP the files. So to me, they're just a repo. That page they're showing you is they like to manage your feed for you, and I don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
But here's an example. That's the feed, and if I delete the file here, like it thinks it's 70.9 megabytes. If I delete that, and I can go, now it's showing the location of the file. I can tell it, okay, go ahead and publish. But since this URL doesn't work, let me show you that. That's the full URL where the file should be, but that's the one that gets the 404 error. So the file isn't where that's supposed to be. But again, it's real weird. They move it someplace that I don't have direct access to there. I can only send it to this fdp-lax.libsyn.com/NosillaCast/public, and then they move it. So, anybody got any other ideas? Can you change the name of the file, add a B suffix, and try again? Yeah, I could. I don't know whether it's a... The thing is, it should be erroring. It should be telling me I've already got that file. I normally get... Well, actually, let me check my email, make sure I didn't get an email from them telling me, yeah, there we go. You were connected to FTP as allison.podfeed.com and tried uploading 404-17.mp3 when a problem occurred. The media file by this name already exists. If you're trying to replace the file, upload it to the Dropbox instead. And I don't know where the Dropbox is. So that is the problem. The first one got broken. The second one's trying to go, but it can't go.
Because it's got the same
name. I need
name.
to upload it to the Dropbox, but I don't know how to find the Dropbox.
So you can't upload it because it has the same name?
Right.
What about the idea
problem.
that everyone's talking about, where we change the name and upload again so it won't get confused?
Actually, that's not a bad idea.
I think it's
because
a good idea.
I can't...
Now, I don't know what happens with the baggage of the first file hanging around, which has an error, but hopefully if it's not pointed to, it's a don't care.
Yeah. Because I can't use this Dropbox idea, the Dropbox, the place to drop it.
Because they haven't told you where that is.
Right.
Well, we
Yeah,
probably don't
so-
need to...
No, everybody has to stay till the end of class until I get this working.
Class is over. It's 6:01.
Okay, I think they're onto something. I'm going to change it to A, and I'm going to use transmit to do it. Well, actually, no, I can use feeder. Transmit would be safer.
Now, you had a couple changes. Did you get those in? Like the show...
In what?
In the blog post, you had the wrong show number and all that. Is that already updated?
Oh, I'm still trying to get Chit Chat to work first.
Okay, gotcha.
Actually, that's a good question. Hang on. Sorry, I'm getting caught between two thoughts here. I may have the speak a whole sentence, Allison. Phonic Leveler just tried to send the NosillaCast up, so I can check that. I didn't see it there, though. Did you? So if I go to feeder and I don't look at that, if I try to do a new NosillaCast, this one, and you can show this if you want. If I type in the URL there, I go across here and I try to go to 17, which should be the latest one. Whoever said check to see whether it already uploaded is the right one. And let's see if it finds it. It found it. Yes. Okay, so I think the whole problem is exactly whoever said that said maybe that got broken on the way up. Mike said change it to a B. I bet that'll work. Okay, so I'm going to change this. I'm going to get rid of this on this one.
You're losing your audience.
Yeah, you guys don't need to stay, but if you loved me, you would stay. So we're going to do this. Bring this up 70.9, and I'm going to publish it.
Wait. What did that say? I didn't see that.
Oh, I
There's
just added
Oh, the A. Got cap A.
1701A. Yeah.
1701A?
17A.
Oh, gee. I was going to say,
That
wow.
would have been good.
That was subliminal.
Yeah, wasn't it? Okay, so I'm going to try. Wait a minute. What did I just do? No, not this one. This one. Chit-chat across the pond. That's the one I want to do, right? We're going to try this one. It's going to work this time. All right, here we
have
go.
confidence.
Let's publish. All right. Oh, can't connect to Libsyn and yeah. So yeah, and FTP. They got weird with their FTP too. There's a different password for it. All right, everybody, refresh your feeds.
This is for Chit Chat.
Yeah, did it come in? I don't see anything.
I see it. It's downloading. Yep. And the download.
Okay, so it was just a borked upload the first time.
Yeah. Which the clue was the file size was too small.
Yay,
Yep,
thanks,
there
Mike.
it is.
So I wonder why I didn't
too
put the
bright.
bad file up. That would have told me something. 724 is here. Hot niggity dog. That means I can publish.
Again, it's time for Chit Chat Across the Pond. This is episode number 724 for April 2nd.
You got it.
All right. Now I got to remember to publish that as a PBS too. Okay. Well, in theory, no, I don't need to do this. Yes, I do need to do that. That one's right, right? Is this right? Yeah, now I'm doubting everything. 417. Okay. All right. Okay. Good. Yay.
Now we can
Thank
say
you,
goodbye.
everybody. Yeah, now class is dismissed. Did anybody take down the names of who left early? We need to punish them for that.
Oh, I can just go in the
Panic
chat.
about your flight. Oh, good luck. You're going to the Northern California, right, Jill? Great.
Safe travels, Jill.
All right, everybody. Excellent. Thank you, Alan. All right, bye, everybody. Wait. Bye, Rose.
I think Rose left already.
Well, I always kiss her goodbye, but
All
if
right.
she's here or not. Cut us off.